Look, have you ever wondered why some couples seem to fight and have no problems, but other couples seem to go through conflicts and it seems like it's about to tear them apart? Well, what if I told you it's not about you avoiding conflict? That's the answer. But it's actually how you handle them when you go through. We're going to talk about some ways that can happen and can work for you in this episode of Couples Pursuit.
Couples Pursuit.
Hello, this is Vincent
And Valerie
Woodard, and on this episode of Couples Pursuit,
we're going to talk about how to stop fighting. It's possible.
It's possible.
It is.
It's possible. Yes. Thank you so much, world, for coming in and joining us. Look, our goal here on Couples Pursuit is to give you the biblical principles to not only to pursue, but to maintain a successful marriage. So if you're new to our channel, we'd like to say welcome. And if you're returning, we'd like to say welcome back. Do us a favor, hit that like button and share this video with someone that you think this topic could help. Or they could be going through this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, babe. So, this topic right here.
Yes.
How to stop fighting? How do we stop fighting? I know we're gonna talk about it, but what's your thoughts?
I think for some people it seems like it's not possible.
Yeah.
You know, I wondered for years, when would we ever stop fighting?
Yeah.
Like stop coming to the same impasse, stop going through the same argument.
Yeah.
Keep tripping over the same obstacles. So I think it's really, really important to share this information tonight.
It's so important because a lot of times with couples, when they come to us, that is their the thing is that either they can't stop fighting about whatever it is they're fighting about, or they don't know how to handle disagreements.
Yes.
That way they handle disagreements in their eyes seem to always turn to a conflict and then combustion. You know, it just blows up. So we're going to give you some ways to be able to handle conflict, because ironically, people think that the ways to handle conflict are the best ways to handle in their relationship is to actually not to avoid
engage.
You're not to engage.
No.
It's to avoid them. And that's actually is going to get you in more trouble because you're not healthy couples don't avoid conflict. I know that seems like, you know, Vince, what you're talking about. We actually deal with them when they come.
Yeah.
And that could be a process. I understand that. And it was a process for us. But when they come up, see, when you don't deal with conflict, when they come up, you got conflict, and let's say people say walk around on eggshells. So this egg fell and it broke, and we ain't gonna deal with it. We're gonna walk around on it, tiptoe around it. We're just not gonna talk about it. Okay, and then now that was you came home late. Somebody came home late and they broke a boundary, and we're just not gonna talk about it. You came home late. You probably smelled like, I don't know, something or whatever, perfume or liquor or whatever. We're not gonna talk about it because I don't want to cause argument. And then the next thing that happens, maybe something with the finances. You know, we need to pay a bill. Something needs to come up, but we don't want to talk about it. So now the elephant is in the room. Yeah. So you got all these
elephants.
Yeah, all these elephants and eggshells. After a while, you don't have nowhere to go.
Right.
And you feel trapped. You feel restricted. You feel inhibited.
Resentful.
Or resentful, not inhibited. Inhibited is loose. But you feel constrained. And either you want to fight or flee.
Yeah.
And that's mainly what happens when you don't deal with conflicts when they come up.
Yeah.
And so that's why we want to give you some tools and strategies to be able to handle that as you go along, because it took us a long time, babe.
Too long.
It's real, right? It's real. Look, it took us a long time to be able to learn, first of all, that let's deal with these when they come up. And I'm gonna go ahead and admit right now. See, I think not every relationship, not every couple, but I was the person in this couple that didn't want to talk about the thing that we need to talk about. And the reason why is because it made me uncomfortable. I don't know how to handle my emotions when I'm uncomfortable. And therefore, I will want to keep my emotions in check, but not talk about the issue. And so I was that person too. So it took me a long time to be able to say, you know what, it's an issue right here. We need to deal with it. So look, leave us a comment in the chat and let us know what conflict, what is it for you that keeps coming up over and over again and that you need to deal with right now. Because the only way you can deal with conflict is to actually let's both agree that this is the conflict.
Yeah.
Let's both agree with it. All right. So my first thing, babe, that we want to talk about is that, okay, don't stir the pot too much.
Okay, explain.
So a gentle answer turns away wrath, but harsh words stirs up anger. What I mean by that, I'm great. This analogy that I got. So let's say like you're cooking soup or something, or macaroni and cheese, something like that, right? All right. So the bottom of the pan, you turned the heat on too high. The bottom of the pan got burnt, it got scorched or whatever. But you still have the macaroni and cheese that on top that didn't get burnt. Okay, follow me. So if you stir too deep down in that pot, you're going to stir up all that burnt stuff and you're going to bring up to the top. You're going to stir up everything that's at the bottom. You're going to bring up to the top. Instead of dealing with we can save what's at the top and then we can deal with the burnt stuff for later. What I mean by that is that sometimes when we get to a conflict, we want to bring up everything that's wrong with this person that I'm dealing with. You know, you talking about you drive too fast. But then it turns into, I don't like your mama. And it turns into,
you didn't do the dishes.
It turns into everything. Yeah. You're stirring up like everything. You're bringing everything up to the top and trying to deal with everything at one time.
That's never a good idea. and to add to that, when an issue is brought up, don't in turn bring up an issue about the other person.
Yeah.
Because that is in one way deflecting, and it is responsible and accountable for each person to share their feelings and not store them up and wait to use them as weaponry in a time of conflict or disagreement. Exactly.
And you can, excuse me. When you bring up everything, what happens? So emotions. Right? People say, well, you shouldn't have made me, or you shouldn't have done that, or whatever. Like you push my buttons. Okay, well, my wife says they're your buttons. You know, you have the right
to control your buttons.
You have the right to let who controls your buttons. So, but the thing is, think about when you bring up a lot of topics about a conflict. First of all, the situation is kind of a little awkward. I'm not saying conflict is easy, as far as it's not uncomfortable.
Topics can be challenging and uncomfortable sometimes, but also very, very necessary. Yeah. And just because you avoid the conflict doesn't mean that things that it's going to go away, because it's not going to go away. And then you have to be concerned about, well, maybe the person who wants to avoid is not concerned, but the person who wants to confront then can become they can feel ignored. And they can become embittered and angry. And what it does is it keeps a line open for chaos, confusion, where there should be peace between you at all times. You have to follow peace with one another. So you find the ways to clear the chaos. You find the ways to move or either successfully climb over the obstacles.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the verse in Proverbs 15, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath. So I don't like to talk to him because he gets mad and he gets angry. I said, I understand that. And like I said, I was that person. I understand that. But the great thing about my wife is that she was like, we still somehow,
I still want to talk about it.
We need to talk about
we have
whatever this issue is. And a gentle answer can turn away wrath. counsel couples, and I tell them this scenario right here. There are 3 rules to resolving conflict, and these is not even in my notes, but it's not like my preacher. But
you are.
So the first rule is when you're in a conflict, we hear, it's an issue. You know, they kind of come swiftly sometimes. You know, we're here. Oh, this is the conflict. Okay. So the first one is to talk without being offensive. What I mean by that is that, okay, so don't just try to back them off of you or gaslight them and make them think they crazy for thinking that this is even an issue. It's not an issue with me. Why is it an issue with you?
You're so insecure.
Yeah. Why you crying? Why you doing this? It's like I'm talking to you and I'm saying that you're so weak or you're so whatever. I'm being offensive. Talk without being offensive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And the second rule is to listen. To listen without being defensive. What does that look like? That looks like, okay, when your spouse is talking to you and they're talking, you're listening for a rebuttal. Like whenever I always saw that they were wrong 15 minutes ago and they still talking.
When you said you wanted to talk to me, I suited up. And while you're speaking, no, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. You're making that up. This is ridiculous. You're crazy. You know, you always have a problem. And it's like defend. And while you're doing that, you're speaking while they're speaking. Even if you're thinking rebuttal while they're speaking, you're not actively engaging in effective communication with them, because you need to listen, because guess what? You make mistakes.
Exactly.
Everyone does. And so we have to be, we have to not be so quick to say, I haven't done anything wrong. Because it may just be a misunderstanding. Yeah.
That's the posture sometimes. It's like, I'm coming into this at the beginning of whatever conflict, whatever disagreement, whatever issue that was brought to the forefront. Like the other person could be coming into this, but like, I ain't do nothing wrong. So whatever you say, whatever you do, I'm taken to position.
Yeah.
That I didn't do nothing.
Combat.
Yeah, I didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So you either have to make your case plain or it's no case, it has to be dismissed. And my job is to dismiss your case because I didn't do nothing wrong. And you're not participating in the solution. Because regardless if you didn't think that to the extreme what the other person might have got offended by or whatever, the other person got offended.
Yeah.
Your spouse got offended. The person you love got offended. That's the posture our heart could take the chance to take. To say, you know what? Because she's offended. She's mad. She mad, man. You know. I remember one time my wife got mad at me. I was like, she mad. And
where was that? Never mind. We can talk about it later.
You know what I'm saying? So he's like, once you decide, you know what, we need a solution, because I can quote unquote fight back and still lose this battle. Yeah. Still lose this war. Yeah. Because me being right, my wife says this thing and I love it. It's not about who is right, it's about what is right. Me being right about a situation doesn't make our situation right. Doesn't make this scenario, it doesn't fix this. Yeah. All it does is just proves that who was the better, what's the word? Two people interchange.
Opponent.
Who's the better opponent? You know, and that's not
in that
how
moment. What it really does is tear away at the fiber of your marriage. It tears away at trust.
Yeah.
It decreases vulnerability, because the person who is expressive and the person who is, opening up their heart and bearing their feelings, will not feel free to do so. And it is often the goal of the other person to stop them from expressing their dislikes. But what you don't understand is you also are shutting down their vulnerability towards you. And
that's exactly my third point. So the first one was talk without being offensive, right? The second one is listen. My 3 sub points inside my first point of being gentle with your words, being gentle with your response. First one is talk without being offensive. 2 is listen without being defensive. And 3 is to always remember to leave your spouse with their dignity.
Yeah.
By the way you answer them, will this edify them? Is this bringing some clarity to this conversation? Am I not trying to tear them down, but build them up? That's the posture your heart should take. Now get this. Even when you think, well, I still don't know how we got here so fast and so quick. But we here now, okay? We could talk about after we work past the fact, okay, baby, are you good? Are you okay? Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got upset. And I didn't mean to come around the corner like that. I didn't mean to whatever I did. I'm so sorry. You know, we could talk about it later, how to ease into conversations. But to avoid them altogether, what you're doing is just you're closing avenues for connection. When you cut off a avenue to your heart, then that's one less path that can be traveled. My heart, stay open. Yeah. All lanes should be leading to connection. Yes. It shouldn't be, well, don't come at me that way. Don't come at me this way. Don't come at me this way. Don't come at me this. Well, what days are you free?
So who is the person that you should be able to express your feelings to, express your emotions to, if it's not your spouse? And one thing I like to say is handling conflict, it makes way, you said it very well, it makes way for connection. But I want to go a little step further in that when you do that, the vulnerability that your spouse is able to share with you not only increases communication, but it can increase intimacy as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they no longer feel, especially for a woman, because we're more, it's more acceptable for us to emote, to share our feelings, our sensitivities. And what it takes for a woman to become, in general, some women are different, but in general, to become open and vulnerable is to feel safe and secure emotionally, physically, mentally, sexually, all of those things, to feel secure with their partner. And if you're shutting them down emotionally, the intimacy is likely going to be shut down as well. Now, she may engage with you, but she may only engage with you in body, and maybe you're okay with that. That's good. But you shouldn't be.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So that's our first point. Be gentle with your response.
Yes.
Watch how you stir the pot. That's my side analogy to that. Yeah. You got to bring up everything all at once. I think a good friend of ours, Dr. 𝗓𝗢 Cikisha, she said that make the main thing the main thing. Like not everything that you got an issue about your spouse can be dealt with in this one exchange,
one space
and time.
Yeah.
All right. So two is choose understanding over being right. And I let the cat out the bag because I was going to save your saying for this one right here, but I just felt it in the moment.
Not about who's right, but what's right, and what is the what that we are talking about.
The what
you can expound on that. It's not about who is right, meaning it's not about whether I'm right or he's right.
Oh yeah.
But what is right?
So the what? So it's your union. It's your covenant. It's your oneness. It's what's right is that you are one.
What's best for the marriage?
What's best for the marriage?
Yeah.
It's knowing that this person is your bone of your bone, your flesh of your flesh. It is just like if you were to fall down some steps and like twist your ankle like terrible bad, right? You didn't mean to, but it happened. Bad. Like, would you actually grab it and like try to rub it, and maybe even somebody else try to comfort it and rub it? Or would you go get a hammer or a stick or a rock or something and just keep beating it? You're like, it's hurting. You might as well just keep, just beating it, see how bad it goes. You wouldn't do that. You will caress it. You will hold it. And knowing you probably need to get some ice, or you probably need to, whatever you need
some medical attention.
The first thing you would do, you would grab it and you would hold it and you would comfort
favor it. Yes.
And that's the what's right. It's that, oh, we're in a situation right now. Wow. So, it's not attack mode. Right. And look, I'm speaking to the choir right here because I was that person. I was like, I ain't do nothing wrong. So I'm going to defend.
In fact, you're wrong for even suggesting that I did anything wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And my goodness, we lost so many good years, so many years. Yeah. Over the fact that my heart was hard to not seeing myself in the mirror, not seeing how I came across, my faults, my whatever I've done. I contribute to this disagreement, this conflict right here. Not looking at that, I always took the part of I ain't do nothing wrong. Yeah, it was my first reaction. That's
right, Rose. Stabilize it. That's a good word. Stabilize.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a scripture in James. I love the book of James. Okay? So everyone should be what? Quick to listen, slow to speak, and also slow become angry. It's an emotion. Anger is emotion.
Yes. But it's also a choice.
But it's also a choice. Yeah. And it's there's some, there's how we have the fruit of the spirit, and one of those is self-control. Yeah. It's like sometimes we want to leave self-control back in the car.
Yeah. It's like the last one on the list.
The last thing you take. I got my love, peace. I got my joy. I got my patient kindness. I got my goodness. Yeah. Faithfulness, gentleness,
meekness,
self-control is there right there.
I'm good. I am controlled, and we like to think we're controlled. And it goes back to what you said before. In the beginning, when you say, I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't have done that, that goes back to the pushing of the buttons. So because you pushed my button, then you ask for and you deserve the response that I'm giving you. So I give myself a pass to lose control, and I make you responsible for me losing control. When nobody has. No one should have that amount of influence over you. Yeah. That you relinquish your self-control.
They can push your buttons remotely, Right. And I mean, I'm not saying you don't feel emotions, you don't feel things, but you do have, I want you to understand that they're your emotions, right? Sometimes when you can get in a situation where it can get emotional, we can be like, baby, let's calm down. Let's calm down for a second, because I feel like this is getting elevated to a really uncomfortable level for the both of us. Some practical ways that you can deal with things is to, and the way that I deal with things now is that I realize, so what was before my outburst? When I got angry at my wife, when I got mad at my wife, when I started yelling and pushing back the things that she was saying, throwing back in her face the reason why she was wrong, reason why I was right. What was like the moment before that? I realized that my heart rate got fast, right? I realized that my breath got short. Yeah. I realized that I got twitchy. I got, antsy or whatever. And I pray to God. I said, God, help me that moment before that moment. Like, I don't never want to get back to that, to the outbursts of fussing and yelling and just arguing. Help me control my physical body reaction to conflict. Yeah, it's amazing. Prayer can do amazing things.
Yes, it can.
And God helped me deal with that issue of knowing that, oh wow, I feel my breath getting shortened. I feel my heart elevating. So I'm like, Lord, I'm praying to myself. I'm like, Lord, please, help my heart. Help my heart slow down. And I talk to my wife when we are in a situation where we're having a disagreement. I say, I listen. That's how I started slowing my heart rate and stuff down. Is I actually started like trying to listen Because I listen for two things. I listen, first of all, what she's saying. And then the second thing, I'm listening to the evidence that she's presenting of how she got to whatever
conclusion.
Yeah, conclusion that she got. Yeah. And then I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I can see how. I said this. Dad, I did say that. I did do that. That did happen. Oh, so you put those 2, 3 together. Okay.
Maybe I can see how you got here. And it's possible that it wasn't his intention, because remember, I can't see what's going on inside of his head or in his heart. But the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And so there may be several things that are going on within him, because see, there's a reason why his heart rate got, elevated, and he would become agitated or twitchy. And there's the scripture that came to mind for me when you were speaking just now is that, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. And I believe that anger is rooted. Anger is a fruit of fear. I believe that doubt and guilt and shame and all of that are rooted in fear. And so sometimes it's difficult, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, for a man to say, I'm afraid of this, that, or the other thing. And that fear doesn't always mean terror, like coward. It doesn't mean that. The
fear of unknown, like I don't know.
The fear of the unknown. Oh, I don't know which way this is going to go, so let me just shut it down. Oh, and one issue was she's saying that I'm wrong. And that makes me feel inadequate. Yeah. It makes me feel attacked. That was a word that would come up a lot. Why are you attacking me? When I wasn't attacking, it was, I want to address. And there's a difference between addressing and attacking. But if you have a fear or a history with feeling underappreciated, my husband has said many times he didn't grow up with a father in his life. If no one taught him how to be, and he's doing the best he knew how, which he was doing the best he knew how. And then I come and say, listen, I don't really like the way this is. I don't like the way this makes me feel. I don't think this is good for me, for us, for our family. I think we can handle it better. Then that feels like a personal attack, when I was looking at the whole of the family and not just him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And, I just thought about the fact that I also didn't grow up seeing interactions between man and wife, even boyfriend and girlfriend, like when they get angry or upset. A lot of people handle stuff behind closed doors. Yeah. Right? But I remember one time we had a disagreement about something, I don't know. And like the house was full, the kids were here. Yeah. And this is like recent, maybe a couple years, maybe a year or so ago. And we were talking and we were just discussing, we didn't see eye to eye on something. I don't know what it was. And we were just discussing it right in front of they were doing their thing. But we were just like, baby, I don't know. I don't.
Oh, I very
and
well remember.
We handled it like right there in the middle. They still just they just said, I don't know if they're playing Uno or something. I don't know what they were doing, but the fact that we handled it, they can tell that we were having a conversation about something. Yeah. But it's like the fact that they witnessed.
But it was a discussion.
That's right. That's right.
And there was no yelling, no elevated voices, no name calling, no, there was a thread of tension, but we quickly, it's like, are you saying I'm backtracking? Well, yeah, I feel like you are backtracking. And it's like, well, what is your definition of that? Because that is not what I'm trying to, put across to you. And then we quickly got back to, okay, we really want the same thing. But what it turns out that one of us feels like I want it now. And the other one feels like, I don't know if we're quite ready to do it. Okay, so let's table it. And then let's just come back and talk about it later. And
we came back and talked about it later.
And now we're about to do it. This year. I think that was last year.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's like, when you said that they have examples, and you're right, not just how to lovey-dovey and everything, but how people actually maneuver disagreements.
And so think about what we did have, right? Because you say you didn't have an example. I had an odd example, a strained example. Like I wouldn't see any affection. Sometimes I would hear elevated voices. But most times there was nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I would just feel the tension of whatever was going on in the house. And it makes a difference. You know, it makes a difference within the marriage, and it makes a difference to the children that are in the house as well.
Exactly.
Because they also feel it. And so, you know, the thing that I did have, you know, it's like the unspoken rule is the things, you know, they say kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. And so if you don't give them an example, then they will take whatever example is in front of them.
Exactly.
So for us, and I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but on TV, we get to see, you know, it's the fight, it's the blow up, they say ugly things to each other, and then they come back together. And sometimes it's, you know, it's just passionate, we're going to make up. And sometimes it's just really, oh, I'm so sorry. And then everything is well. But there's nothing about the in-between of that most of the time.
Exactly.
And so the expectation is, what do you mean? This is how people fight. This is what they do.
That was my thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what people do.
That's and I'm like, no. No, this is not how we do it.
We're not making this normal. No, we're not normalizing dysfunction in this household.
Yes, normalizing dysfunction. My God, that's a book. It's a sermon. It's, you know.
Yeah. So choose understanding over being right.
Yes.
It's not about who is right. It's about what's right.
Yes.
So my point 3, my last point, is to deal with these issues quickly.
Yes.
Quickly as possible. We talked about coming into the room, you know, with the walking on eggshells and you know, the elephants in the room and the doors being closed. It's like, where are we gonna go?
Right.
We run out of room here.
It's like it's like, if you can imagine the lunacy of an army. When we hear about something that happens, you know, within a branch of the armed forces, and they call it friendly fire. Yeah. It's like one of the worst things they ever want to, you know, have to say that they injured one of their own. Yeah. With what's meant to protect their own. And so it's the same thing within marriage. What we do when we refuse to settle conflict, when we refuse to see ourselves, when we refuse to change and grow and communicate, what we do is we self-injure. Yeah. And that's good. I love that. Yeah. I love that friendly fire analogy, because you like to go tell someone that it's our fault. Like we caused this damage. Yeah. You know, and the better be in a relationship with your spouse, but you're actually taking aim at that person. Yeah, they become your opponent. Yeah, that's enemy what you're doing, and it's not friendly at all. No, that's not. So deal with issues quickly. I love how the verse in Ephesians 4:26 says, "Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry." Oof. Now I think I can get a lot of pushback on this part right here, because you're like, you just don't know what they did. You just don't know what happened. I'm not saying don't turn your emotions off. I'm not saying do not have emotions. Right. But I'm saying, but you do have the capacity to not be angry. Like angry, like I can't stand this person. I'm talking about that angry where I wish they'd just leave. I'm talking about that angry where you don't even want them to touch you. You don't even want them to be around. Now, where you forget you're one. Yeah, you forget you're one. That you're one. I'm not talking about physical abuse, and I'm not talking about, you know, somebody trying to throwing things at your head or what, threatening you. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about a committed, loving, committed relationship. We had this big old bump in the road, right? And now, instead of even trying to talk about it, we would rather just go to sleep hating each other. That's what the Bible is talking about. Yeah. Don't hate yourself. And definitely don't go to sleep. Now we can get to a point and be like, you know what, we are exhausted. We're both tired. I do not want to continue when I know it's going to lead to a blow up. Let's
not continue this way because it seems like we're not understanding each other. I would rather sleep good tonight or bed to sleep tonight and pick it up tomorrow, but not going to sleep saying, I hate you. I can't stand you. You know how it is when you, the couples, you've been in the bed and you got that line, that imaginary line in the bed. Come on now.
Or you sleeping on the road. Sleeping on the road.
You like, and you don't want that person to touch.
There's no snuggling, cuddling that
come
night.
Across the line. Why is our foot coming across the line? She know what mode we in. We in the mode not touching.
He's laughing, and I'm just like, ooh, all the time. All the love wasted. All the affection wasted. Mm-hmm. Just wasted. And the enemy is like sitting right on the line like, I got him. Yeah. I'm dividing them. What God has put together, they're putting asunder. I don't have to do anything. I just sit here, cross my legs, and lay back and rest while they don't. While they do not rest. You know?
Man, that part. Oh, man. So, look, some practical ways to not go to sleep angry is, first of all, that's recognize anger is your choice.
It is.
I want to pause right there because so quickly we could say, well, they shouldn't have did this, or they made me do this, or if they wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have done this. It's like it's a conditional response.
We're imposing a sentence.
Yeah.
You know, on the other person because you did this, then you deserve that I don't talk to you, I don't kiss you, I don't make love to you, I don't answer you, I'm not kind to you for as long as I feel.
You don't deserve my presence.
You don't deserve my presence. Yeah.
Wow.
And that is, we're punishing one another, and that's not cool.
Yeah. And
cool.
if you've been in those places like that and you find yourself on maybe you made it through whatever issue that you're going through. One of our things that we talk about, we wrote a book called The 5 Marriage Mandates. And in the book of The 5 Marriage Mandates, we talk about setting boundaries. We talk about setting a goal, a center of respect for your marriage. Like, this is where we want our marriage to be, to land, to go. And these are the visions that we both agree where we want to see ourselves. That's called calibration in our 5 marriage mandates. It's the last C. Get the book and you can know the other C's, which is covenant, commitment, communication, connection. The last C is calibration. But what I say that to say that once you both agree where you want to see your marriage to go, then you understand that this imaginary line that we plan, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
There should be nothing between us.
For so long, could be acceptable. Like, oh, we arguing, so we just don't sleep with the imaginary line for a couple of days and until we've whatever, But if we knew what we knew now, as far as calibrating our marriage, saying, you know what, we don't see our marriage like that. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to share a bed with you and not be able to hug you. Or not feel comfortable with hugging you. Not feeling comfortable feeling your embrace, and snuggling. Even those moments where I love how, babe, I'm just dropping, you need to write a book of valorisms or whatever. But I love how my wife says that I could tell how you love me. I could tell the way you love me by the way you treat me when you're angry with me.
I can tell how much you love me. Yeah.
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 She can tell how I love her, how much I love her, the way I treat her when I'm not that happy with her. I thought she still feels loved by me. She knows that's love.
Yeah.
Even when I'm like, babe, okay, baby. I didn't, I'm sorry. I didn't think I did that. I still love you. I love you, and I'm so sorry that it went that far, because I didn't mean for it to go that far. But it's not okay for me to be like, well, that's her.
Yeah, you tripping. You always got something. You always got a problem. You always want to talk to me about something.
That's that. Do not let the sun go down while you're angry. That's what that is right there. So do not. It's a choice I love when the Bible gives us directives of things that I don't know if we knew that we can do. Like, like the Bible tells us to cast your cares to God. It tells you to the peace of God surpasses all understanding. It tells you a lot of things that God can do, but then he'd be like, "Do not let the sun go down." Right? Yeah. So I'm not supposed.
That. You can have that.
Yep. You can do that.
Yeah.
Stand firm. What?
And be slow to speak, slow to anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick to listen. Oh, I can do that.
The Bible just put it out there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. So, look, leave us a comment. Thank you so much. We just ordered a book. Yep, we sure did. Look. Y'all take a picture with that pop on you, Marcel, and let me know. Send a picture. I want to see a picture. Day. Yeah, hopefully it's there.
Yeah, it should be there.
Yeah, hopefully it's there. And take a picture and send it to me, man. Rose, I appreciate you so much. Understand before we overstand. I like that. That's a Macism right there. Macism.
That's her husband.
Yeah. He used to say that to me all the time. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. And babe, I think we gave the people something. I would like
long suffering. That's another fruit of the Spirit.
I
see you.
I would like to ask you, like, what's your biggest challenge out there in the lane out there? What's your biggest challenge?
Let us know what you're dealing with.
And when it comes to your marriage, and how do you handle it currently? And if this video helped, like, what tips did you learn from this video that you can apply in your own relationship? We would love that. We read all the comments, and we would love to just chat. And if you need some help, if you need to book a call with us, I urge you to click the link in the comments, click the link below in the description, and you get a free call. We get a free 15-minute call just to talk about if we're a good fit to be able to help each other, and then we can talk about next steps after that. And go get our book. Like Pop said, Pop said he ordered the book. That's why I call him Lawrence. But he said, order the book, 5 Marriage Mandates. We wrote this just like it was in the session. We have 5 sessions with you. We could tell you some biblical strategies to help anyone overcome any marital challenge. Amen.
Yeah, because they're the ones that helped us to overcome, and we know it's proven. It's proven. And so we just want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And our prayer is that God will continue to bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you, lift up his countenance towards you, give you peace, and that you will find the way to communicate with your spouse, your intended spouse, in the way that produces love, produces more patience, produces understanding, kindness, joy, peace, all of those things. God gave us the fruit of the Spirit in order to be able to use it in communication, in relationship, so that we can show love to one another. So I hope that you have heard something that you can use. Like my husband said, please please share with someone that you know. And also just stay tuned in, because we really want to share with you what God has shared with us to help us get through. Yeah. I
mean, my goodness, this is, you know what, we say, you know what, God, you helped us. And we just want to share with other people.
We want to help as many people as we can.
As many people, we'll take as many people up with us.
Yes.
You know, people want to take people down.
Oh gosh!
People who want to take it up. Come out of that pit. Come out of that, and that's our goal here. On Couples Pursuit, at Couples Pursuit.
Yes. Amen. So until next time, we'll see you. Love you all. Good night. Thank you for watching this episode of Couples Pursuit Live. If you enjoyed this video, here's another one we think you'll like.